Hello, guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron, and I'm already dropping stuff. So it's a live stream edition, so I'm able to do this. My daughter, she is over at my dad's house. They are watching her for tonight, so it's a late night edition of Indiana Sports Connection. This does not happen very often. I'm thinking of doing something where I will shoot in the wintertime some of these episodes maybe in my shed next year. Something I'm like kind of brainstorming right now. So the Colts schedule came out. Also, the Hoosiers got a player, Langdon Hatton. I had already put out a video just a few hours ago, and I have been super busy, if you care so much about that, with my new job at Preferred Auto, 5005 Illinois Road. Find me at Preferred Auto. I will help you find a car. We have used cars of all kinds. But that's enough from that advertisement for you. Just letting you know what I'm up to. But what happens when you're as soon as your kids are out of town? I always say kids, but I only have one child. Like, you're like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And that's why I'm going on this live stream early. It's like you end up just going home and going to bed. So it's only like 8:30 right now, but yeah, I'm probably going to go to bed early because I got a big day tomorrow and I need to get my rest, But let's look at the Colts schedule. We're just going to take, I've just kind of glanced at it. Not really that much today because I was busy doing stuff. My lawn is growing like crazy, and my weeds, I swear the weeds, you can watch them grow this time of year. It is like we've been getting so much rain. It's like the weeds are coming out of everywhere. But we are going to look, just a first look at the Colts schedule and say, what do you think? Now, first game off is against the Texans at home. And more, when I'm thinking about that game, I am like, I hate to say games are must-win games, but you don't want to start off 0-2 or 1-1. The game against the Texans, it is going to be tough. But the Colts should be out for blood. I mean, the Colts should be really, really getting after it. And I realized that is, oh my God. Yeah, I am tired. My God, I pulled up the schedule on there. It was the exact same look, but it was the one from last year, just in my photos. But the first game at home against the Texans, that game being at home, I mean, it is going to be one of the most critical games that they really get that started right off the bat. And bear with me, this makes for awful YouTube right here. And I hate when they then the second game at the Packers in the second game. So that's where I'm looking at. It's like you lose to the Texans, and I'm not trying to be negative to start this out, but one of those first two games, I feel like you got to win. You do not want to start out 0-2 with a young team. The big question mark is going to be, what is the continuity going to be like with Anthony Richardson and the receivers early in the season? Is he going to get working with these guys? Is he going to be able to have decent, now like Downs and Pittman, those guys he played with a little bit last year, but really only less than 4 games. He got injured in the 4th game. So, or if we want to think of this in a more positive way, could the Colts really have a better game plan on defense after they've watched film on C.J. Stroud? Many of these quarterbacks have a sophomore slump, and Jordan Love could be another one that could have a little bit of a slump where, we got a whole year's worth of tape to watch on these two guys. Could they have a little bit of a hard time? It's totally possible. So the first 2 games are tough. Against the Packers, at the Packers week 2, that is one I'm thinking about going to. I've never been to Lambeau Field, and that is one I really got marked that maybe if there's some way I could get there. Then the Bears come to the Colts week 3. That is a must win. If you start out 0-2 or even 1-1, you got to beat the Bears. And I know they have a lot of talent. That could be a really, really tough game. And I think Caleb Williams is going to be good in the NFL. So I believe that's going to be a tough game. Then you go Steelers at home. 2 home games in a row. You got the Bears at home. You got the Steelers at home. Steelers, they are always tough. And they're always a tough get. I mean, we beat them last year in a real must-win game. But we are going to have to do that again. TJ Watt, he will be back. And he will be coming after Anthony Richardson. That's one where, yeah, that's one that's going to be always a tough game. I don't care. The Steelers, they're like 9-8 every year, even when they have a terrible roster or no talent. I mean, they have a really great coach. Then we play the Jaguars at Jaguars, October 6th, 1 o'clock. And all these are 1 o'clock games so far. That's going to be tough, too. I mean, I know I'm saying all these are tough. Then we go to Tennessee, 2 road games in a row. But luckily, we go to Jacksonville. Then we go to Tennessee on October 13th. We should win that game. Dolphins come to the Colts. That would be one that I would be marking. October, I love just driving in October. I love driving to Indianapolis. That's going to be a tough game as well. Do the Dolphins take kind of a step back? I do believe they do. I don't think Tua is really that great. And I think the talent they have at wide receiver, I think after having a year of being able to watch some of the film on these guys, that the defenses will adjust and see the plays that they were running last year were just, they were new, they were innovative, and they have a really good coach too. So it does not get any easier in the NFL. So then you go Texans, October 27th, you got the Texans. And so at this point, you've played quite a few division games, but October 27th at the Texans, the division games are always going to be close games. One I feel pretty decent about, they go to the Vikings, and they do play the NFC North this year. So go to the Vikings on November 3rd. That's one I feel pretty good about. One team, the Colts have kind of had their number. Like when they played the Bills, because the next game, November 10th, they play the Bills at home. This is one, I don't know why. I just feel like the Colts will be able to beat the Bills. I don't feel super concerned about that game. But that's going to be a tough game against a really good quarterback. There's so many great quarterbacks in the AFC. That's where I hope this season we can really see Anthony Richardson kind of like get into his groove and kind of make his place in the AFC, where it's like, okay, we can see this guy can do this. He can do this. He can throw the ball deep. He can run. And hopefully he can not get hurt. That's the main thing. He just cannot run and get hurt. So we play the Bills November 10th. And November 17th, our only primetime game, 8:20 against the Jets. I don't think the Jets are going to be that great. And I honestly don't think Aaron Rodgers is even going to be playing by that time. I think he will be injured before this game even happens, or he will have some type of ailment that will stop him from playing in this game. Then we got the Lions coming to the Colts. And that is just, the Lions are damn good. So that is just going to be a tough game right to the end. Then we got Patriots December 1st. Now we're in December. We play the Patriots. Thankfully, they're bringing this rivalry back now that the Patriots, they stink so badly. And I don't think they're going to be any good this year. Then you go to the Broncos on December 15th. So, Sean Payton, the Broncos, they're not that good. But we saw what a bad Colts team 2 years ago, beat the Broncos 9-6. But I'll take the Colts in that. I think the Colts will beat the Broncos. They'll beat the Patriots. There's not too many games on the schedule that you look at and you're like, these are laydowns. But towards the last 4 games, I do feel, or 5 games, I feel like the easier part of this schedule is at the end. So after you play the Broncos, you got the Titans on December 22nd. Then you go to the Giants, who are terrible. Giants suck. And then you got the Jaguars at home to end the year. Like your biggest nemesis that's kind of kept you out of the playoffs a little bit, the Jaguars, even though, the Texans did last year. But, all the division teams, the Titans are just maybe going to have a down season here for a couple years. I don't know why the Titans fired Mike Vrabel. If they still had Vrabel as the coach, I would think these Titans games would be even a lot harder. Maybe the Titans will be fantastic. We really have no idea. But to end out the year, if you look at these last 5 games, after we play the Lions on November 24th, then you got Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Giants, and then Jaguars. That could be a 5-game winning streak to close the year out. And it could be the kind of season where the Colts just kind of teeter around 500, maybe until that last little bit. But let's talk about, Richardson has to stay healthy. This new wide receiver, I've been watching the clips they've been putting of him on Instagram and all those places. He looks absolutely fantastic, but this is all on paper. He's big, like through his legs, and A.D. Mitchell, he is just a stout guy, stout route runner. I think he's going to bring some real physicality with him and Pittman, Downs. Who knows how much Pierce really plays? And then Gould already said that Anthony Richardson can throw the ball 80 yards. So, and the Hoosiers, they picked up, and I just put all this stuff. I had all this stuff organized when I turned this on, and then I don't know what happened. I had it all organized on my phone to read, and then I just clicked off of it. Yeah, Langdon Hatton, 6'10", coming to the Hoosiers, and I'm going to do another video, going more in depth, but here's what Woodson says about Hatton. Langdon is an experienced, versatile big man that will help us in our front court depth. He's a big body. He can work in the post. He can get after the glass. This is exactly what they needed. I believe this guy can shoot from the outside a little bit. He's got a decent shot, but Hoosiers needed a big guy, definitely a backup big guy. Mike Woodson's going to have to put it all together. And also, Shane Steichen. I believe the Colts have a home run higher in Shane Steichen, and I think he's going to take the Colts to the playoffs this year. And that back half of the schedule, will they win their last 5 games, or at least 4 of their last 5 games? It's totally possible. But a tough schedule, but we're just going to have to see how it all shakes out. Look, it's like mid-May right now. It's May 16th, I believe. So, look, it's like a few weeks it's going to be Memorial Day. And then a few weeks after that, it's going to be 4th of July. And then 2 weeks after that, they start training camp. So, I always think like this time of year, it's like there's no sports going to be on after the NBA Finals. And, yeah, that's tough. But it comes always a lot quicker. And the thing is, this time of year, I have so much stuff to do outside that it just gets you super distracted. But thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection, checking out the Colts schedule, talking a little bit about what we think this team is going to look like next year. And until next time, stay classy out there, Colts.